to that wind. Mark's coming in like a lion. Grace, you should come over and look out. See the way the wind is blowing things all over town.
Now I wonder why I can't get the operator.
I bet the bus will be late.
I bet it won't. Roads are okay as far as here. It's ahead they're having trouble. Can't even get the operator. Must have more calls than she can handle.
I bet the bus doesn't have many passengers.
I bet it won't, but we gotta stay open even if there's only one.
I shouldn't think anyone would travel tonight unless he absolutely had to.
Your folks gonna worry, Emma?
No. Daddy said before I left home that he bet this had happened.
Well, better come back here and help me then. Bus will be here any minute. We gotta have things ready.
Nights like this, I'm glad I have a home to go to.
Well, I got a home to go to, but there ain't anybody in it.
Where's your husband now, Grace?
How should I know?
Don't you miss him?
No.
If he came walking in here right now, would you be happy to see him?
You ask more questions.
Well, I'm just curious about things, Grace.
Well, kids your age are, I guess. I don't know. I'd be happy to see him, I guess, if I knew he wasn't going to stay very long.
Don't you get lonesome when you're not working down here?
Sure I do. If I didn't have this restaurant to keep me busy, I'd probably go nuts. Some nights, especially after I take out the garbage and lock the doors and turn out the lights, I get kind of a sick feeling, because I sure don't look forward to walking up those stairs and let myself into an empty apartment.
Well, gee, if you feel that way, why don't you write your husband and tell him to come back?
Because I got just as lonesome when he was here. There wasn't much company except when we were making love, but making love is one thing and being lonesome is another.
Gee, I guess my folks get along pretty well. I mean, they really seem to like each other.
Oh, I know all couples aren't like Bart and me. Not all. Maybe now I can get that operated. Quiet as a tune.
I like working here with you, Grace.
Do you, honey? Because I sure don't know what I'd do without you. Weekends especially.
You know, I kind of dreaded the job at first.
Why? Didn't think you'd have time enough for all your boyfriends? Well, maybe you'd have more boyfriends if you didn't make such good grades. Boys feel kind of embarrassed when they feel a girl is smarter than they are.
Well, what should I do? Flunk my courses?
I should say not. You're a good kid and you got good sense. I wish somebody was there to reason with me when I was your age. But I was a headstrong brat and had to have my own way. Have my own way, all right, and here I am now. Grass widow, run a restaurant. I'll probably die in this little town and they'll bury me out by the back house.
You girls been able to use your phone?
No, Will. The operator don't answer.
That means all the lines are down. It's about time for the Topeka bus, ain't it?
Do now.
Hey, you're gonna have to hold me here. Don't know how long. The highway's blocked between here and Topeka. Might be all night getting here.
I was afraid of that.
The highway, they had to tell us. There's the telephone guys working on the lines. Marge is coming in like a lion, all right.
Yeah.
The station house is cold. You got any fresh coffee?
Just went through, Will. Fresh as you could want it.
I tell you, a storm like this just makes me mad. Well, it does. It makes me mad. It's like all the elements have lost their reason.
Nothing you could do about wind like that.
Well, maybe it's just because I'm the sheriff, but I like to see things in order.
I say let the wind blow. I just pray to God to leave a roof over my head. It's about all a person can do.
Here it is.
Better fill some water glasses, Elma. And remember, these donuts left over from yesterday, but it's all right to serve them. We got everything for sandwiches but cheese.
You never got cheese, Grace.
Well, guess I'm kind of self-centered, Will. I don't care if she's myself, so I never think to order it for somebody else.
Gee, I'm glad I'm not traveling on that bus tonight.
Wonder whose night it is. This is Carl's night, isn't it?
I think so.
Yes, it is. Now remember, honey, I always serve Carl.
Sure, Grace. Is there some place I can hide?
What?
There's a man on the bus. I need to hide.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, I'll hide in the powder room. If a tall, lanky cowboy comes in here, you can just tell him I disappeared.
Wait, you can't hide on the free zone.
It's outside.
This is just a country town.
Well, I guess I can stand anything for about 20 minutes.
I got news for you. The bus may be here all night.
What?
Road's blocked ahead. You're gonna have to stay here till it's cleared.
Criminy, what am I gonna do?
Better go out and tell Carl about that play.
What am I gonna do? Whatever am I gonna do? Well, there's a little hotel down the street. What do you take me for, a millionaire?
What's the trouble, miss?
You a policeman?
I am the local sheriff.
But everyone likes them. Really? Well, I ain't looking to have nobody arrested.
Ah, who says I'm gonna arrest anyone? What's your trouble?
I need protection.
What from?
Man, a cowboy.
Where is he?
On the bus asleep. Him and his buddy. I jumped off the second it stopped to make my getaway, but there ain't no place to get away to. He'll be in here pretty soon. You just gotta make him leave me alone.
Did you meet him on the bus?
No, I met him in Kansas City at the Blue Dragon nightclub. He came in there with the annual rodeo. He'd come in there every night, and every night there was a big fight. Boss says he ain't gonna let the Cowboys back next year.
Then he followed you on the bus.
No, he put me on it. I'm being abducted.
Abducted? But you took the time to pack a suitcase.
Well, I was trying to get away to someplace else, trying to get away from him. But he followed me to the bus, picked me up, and carried me on it. I didn't have nothing to say about it.
Where's he plan on taking you?
Says he's got some ranch up in Montana. Says we're gonna get married.
And you're against it?
Well, I don't want to go to some godforsaken ranch in Montana.
Well, if this cowboy's really taking you against your will, I suppose I'll have to stop him from it.
You just don't know this cowboy. He's mean.
I reckon I can handle it. You relax now. I'll be around most of the night. If there's any trouble, I'll put a stop to it.
You needn't worry with Will here. Will is very respected around here. He's never lost a fight.
What are you talking about, Elma? Of course I've lost a fight. Once.
But Grace always told me you were invincible.
Now, there ain't no one that's invincible. A man's got to learn that. The sooner, the better. A good fighter's got to know what it's like to get licked. That's what makes the difference between a fighter and a bully.
There's gonna be trouble tonight. I can feel it in my bones.
This castle hath a pleasant seat.
Do you mind if I hide my suitcase behind the counter? I ain't gonna say nothing about not going up to Montana with him. I'm just gonna let the bus pull out and let him think I'm on it. That's the only thing I know how to do. Oh, you're safe with Will here. You think? Looks kind of like Moses, don't he? He is a very religious man. Would you believe it? He's even a deacon at Congregational Church. My folks was holy rollers. Can you give me a cup of coffee, please? Lots of cream.
Howdy, Carl. You brought this wind?
No, it brought me.
Aren't you the comedian?
The wind is doing 90 miles an hour. The bus is doing 20. What's your guess about the roads, Will?
You get the highway gang working on it. May take a few hours.
Telephone lines down too?
Yeah, but they're working on them.
Driver, it seems to me that we are still in the state of Kansas. Is that right?
What do you mean still? You've been in the state of Kansas about a half hour.
But I don't understand. I was told when I left Kansas City that I would be across the state line immediately. But now I find...
You was kind of anxious to get across that state line too, wasn't you, Jan?
Why? Whatever do you mean?
Nothing. Anyway, you're across the line now. In case you didn't know it, Kansas City is in Missouri.
You're joking.
There's a Kansas City, Kansas too. But you got on in Kansas City, Missouri. That's the trouble with you Easterners. Don't know any of the country and west of the Hudson River.
Come now, don't scold.
Here, let me take your coat, Carl, while you get warm by the stove.
Oh, nymph on thy horizons, be all my sins remembered.
Well, I'm sorry your bus is held up.
Oh, is that a nice way to greet me?
I mean,
After my nice greeting, all you can think of to say is, I'm sorry your bus is held up. Well, I, for one, am not. I'd much rather sit here staring into the innocent blue of your eyes than spend another minute on that monotonous bus.
don't you have somewhere to get to?
I have a ticket in my pocket to Denver. I don't have to get there. I don't have to get anywhere. I travel from one town to another just to prove to myself that I'm free.
Well, the bus won't get into Denver for another day.
Well, what's our next stop?
Topeka.
Ah, Topeka. That's where that famous hospital is, isn't it?
The manager clinic? Oh, yes. It's a very famous place. Lots of movie stars go there for nervous breakdowns and things.
Does this town offer anything else in the way of diversion?
Well, it's the capital of Kansas. It's almost as big as Kansas City. It's got a university and a museum, and sometimes symphony concerts and plays. I go there every Sunday to visit my married sister.
Are there any Indian tribes around that have war dances?
No, silly, but very civilized.
I shall be the judge of that. Meanwhile, you may fix me up a double shot of rye whiskey on the rocks.
I'm sorry, sir, but we don't sell drinks.
You don't sell drinks?
Not intoxicating ones. No, sir.
Alas.
We have fresh coffee, homemade cakes and pies, and all kinds of fresh sandwiches.
No, my dear. I am prepared for such emergencies. You may get me a bottle of your finest lemon soda.
Whoa, you better not let Will see you do that.
Who's Will? The sheriff?
Oh, yes. Lots of people just stack their drinks in here. We never say anything. But if Will saw you, you'd have to put a stop to it.
I shall be most cautious, I promise.
I sure don't envy you, Carl. Driving in weather like this.
Yeah, March is coming in like a lion.
This all the passengers you got?
There's a couple of crazy cowboys rolled up in the back seat, asleep. I thought I woke them, but I guess I didn't.
Shouldn't you go do it now?
I just assume they stay where they're at. One of them's a troublemaker. You know the kind. First time off a ranch and wild as a bronco. He's been on the make for this little blonde down here.
She was telling me.
I've had a good mind to put him off the bus the way he's been acting. I say there's a time and a place for everything.
Well, that bus may get snowbound pretty soon.
I'll go wake him in a minute, Will. Just let me have a little time here. You know what, Grace? This is the first time you and I ever had more than 20 minutes together.
So what?
Oh, I don't know. I'll probably be here most of the night. It'd sure be nice to have a nice little apartment to go to. Someplace to sit and listen to the radio. With a good-looking woman. Something like you. To talk with. Maybe have a few beers.
That wouldn't be a hint or anything, would it?
Why? Do you have an apartment like that, Grace?
Yes, I do, but I never told you anything about it. Did that ornery Dobson fella tell you I had an apartment over the restaurant?
Dobson. Dobson. I can't seem to remember anyone named Dobson.
You know him better than I do. He comes through twice a week with the Southwest bus. And he tells me you and him meet in Topeka sometimes and paint the town.
Dobson. Oh, yeah. I know Dobson. Vern Dobson. A prince of a fella.
Well, if he's been gabbing to you about my apartment, I can tell you he's only been up there once. When he came in here with his hand cut and I had to take him up there to bandage it. That's the one and only time he's been up there, on my word of honor.
Oh, Vern Dobson speaks very highly of you, Grace. Very highly.
Well, he better. Now what you gonna have?
Make it in ham and cheese on rye.
I'm sorry, Carl, we got no cheese.
What happened? Did the mice get it?
None of your wise remarks.
Okay, make it in ham on rye then.
Sorry, aren't no rye either.
I can vouch for that, my good sir. I was asked for rye myself and was denied.
Look, mister, don't you think you ought to be laying off that stuff until you get home and meet the missus?
The missus, did you say? Ha! Sir, I have no missus. I am free. I can travel the universe and go anywhere I want without anyone to expect my arrival anywhere.
That's all I ever get on my bus, drunks and hoodlums.
How's the whole week, Carl?
Okay, make it older.
Yes, I'm free. My third and last wife left me several years ago for a ball player.
Your third?
Yes, my third. Getting married is a careless habit I've fallen into. Sometime, really, I must give it all up. Oh, but she was pretty, blonde, like the young lady over there, and southern too, or at least pretended to be. She was kinder than the others when we parted ways, for she didn't care about money. All she cared about was finding new marital bliss with her ball player. So I never had to pay her alimony. But my second wife was a different type entirely. Oh, but she was very pretty too. I have always demonstrated the most excellent taste, if not the best judgment. She was a student of mine when I was teaching at Eastern University. Alas, she sued me for divorce on grounds of incontinence and the fact that I was always drunk. I never had a chance to resign from that position.
Hey, how much are them donuts? I'll make you a special price. 2 for a nickel. Okay. I never been so cold in my whole life. Well, do you honestly work in a nightclub? Well, sure. I'm a chanteuse. I call myself Cherie. That's French, isn't it? I don't know. Just saw the name on it, so it sort of appealed to me. It's French. It means dear one. Is that all the name you go by? Well, sure. That's all the name you need. Like Hildegard. She's a chanteuse, too. Chanteuse means singer. How come you know so much? Well, I was taking French in high school. Oh, I never got as far in high school. When my oldest sister Violet ran away, I was the oldest one left. I had 2 sisters, both of them younger, and then I had 5 brothers, most of them were older. Boy, was they mean. Anyway, I had to stay home and do all the cooking and the cleaning. I'm a real good cook, honest. Well, did you study singing? Just sort of picked it up one day. Listened to the radio, seeing the movies, trying to put my songs out as good as some folks did. How'd you get started in the nightclub? I won an amateur contest. I only got 2nd place, and boys who juggled milk bottles took 1st. But I don't think that's very fair, do you, to put an artistic performer like myself up against some performers like that? No, I don't. Anyway, 2nd place was good enough to get me into the contest in Kansas City. It was a real big contest, and I didn't win any prize at all. But it did give me the job at the Blue Dragon. Is that where you're from? Joplin? No, Joplin's a big town. I'm from about 100 miles from there. River Gulch, down by the Ozarks. Lived there till this past spring when the floods came and washed us all away. Gee, that's too bad. Yeah, I don't know where any of my folks are now, except my baby sister Nana, of course. I took her into Joplin with me till the contest opened up. She got a job as a waitress, and I worked at Legette's. It must be fun working in that club. Well, it ain't all roses.
You gonna be here a while, Will?
I reckon.
I'm gonna send them cowboys in here now and leave you to look after them.
I'll do my best.
Tell you something else, Will.
Well, I'll be jigging.
So you better keep an eye on him, too.
Ain't you coming back, Carl?
Tell the truth, Will. I get so darn stiff sitting at the wheel all day, I thought I'd go out for a long walk.
In this blizzard? You going crazy?
Nope. That's just the kind of fella I am, Will. I like to go for long walks in the rain and snow. Freshens a fella up. Sometimes I walk for hours.
You do?
Yup. 4 hours. That's just the kind of fellow I am.
Imagine going out for a walk on a night like this.
Well, it really is very good for one, Will. It really is.
You said he was going to wake him up soon. You won't let on and said anything about leaving, will you? No. Cross my heart.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, Thou art more lovely, more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. And in summer's leaf hath the whole too short to date.
Why, that's one of my favorite sonnets.
It is. Do you read Shakespeare?
Well, I studied him in high school. I just loved his sonnets. I memorized some of them myself.
Well, my dear, I knew them all by heart. And I memorized most of the plays in their entirety. I would recite them for the amusement and annoyance of my friends.
Last fall, I memorized the balcony scene from Romeo and Juliet. A boy in class played Romeo, and we presented it for convocation one day.
I would have given anything to have been there to see it.
Where I went to school, we didn't study no Shakespeare. In the 9th grade, everyone read Julius Caesar. I only got as far as the 8th. I've seen the movie, though, with Marlon Brando. I sure do like that Marlon Brando.
Madame, where art thou, Lochinvar?
I don't understand a word you say, I just love the way you say it.
Well, my dear, I understand everything I say, and privately despise the way I say it.
That's so cute. I had a very nice friend once who recited poetry.
Oh, what could have happened to him?
I don't know. He owned a used car dealership on the corner of 8th and Wyandotte. He had a really nice car, a Pontiac, that comes with the top down. I thought he was awful nice, but turned out to be like all the others.
The others?
You meet quite a few men in the place I work. The Blue Dragon nightclub, ever hear of it?
No, and I deeply regret the fact.
An educated man like yourself, you wouldn't have no use for the Blue Dragon.
Oh, I wouldn't?
No, you wouldn't.
Hey! What, anyone make soap? Virgin, I'm out of prose out there.
Hey, shut that door.
Cherry, how come you get off the bus without letting me know? Is that any way to treat the man you're gonna marry?
Shut the door, cowboy!
That's no way to treat a fella, Cherry. To get off the bus like you wanted to get rid of him, maybe, and come in here and eat by yourself? I thought we'd have a little snack together. Sometimes, I don't understand you, Cherry.
For the last time, my name ain't Cherry.
Well, I can't say it the way you do. What's wrong with Cherry?
It's kind of embarrassing.
Cowboy, will you have the decency to shut that door?
What? What's the matter with you, mister? You afraid of a little fresh air? Well, man, you ought to breathe real deep and get your lungs full. But that's the trouble with you city people. You get soft.
He's the sheriff, Paul.
Supposing he's the sheriff. What's the matter to me? That don't give him the right to insult my manners, does it? No man ever had to tell me what to do. Did he, Virg? Did he?
No, but there always comes a time, Bo.
My name's Bo Decker. I'm 21 years old and owning my own ranch up in Timber Hill, Montana. Well, I got the finest herd of heifer cattle, and a dozen horses, and the finest sheep and hogs and chickens anywhere in the country. And I just came back from a rodeo where I just about won every prize there was to win. Didn't I, Virg? Yep, I'm the prize bronco buster and steer roper and bulldogger anywhere around. I won them all. And what's more, got my picture taken by Life magazine. So, I appreciate you talking to me with a little respect in your voice, mister. Not go hollering orders around from across the room like I was some no-count servant.
Did you ever see anybody like him?
You was the last one in, cowboy, and you left the door open. You should have closed it. I don't care who you are. That's all I'm saying.
Door's closed now. What you arguing about? Looks like we're going to be here a little while, Verge. How's for some grub?
Not yet, Bo. I'm chewing the back.
That's the old Verge for you. Always happy as long as you don't watch the back as well. Well, as for me, you can have me a little snack. Miss, give me 3 hamburgers.
3? How do you want them?
I want them raw.
Honest?
That's the only way to eat them. Raw. With a thick slice of onion and some piccalilli on top.
Well, you sure you're not joking?
Oh, just a minute, miss. That ain't all. I'd also like me some ham and eggs, some potato salad, and a piece of pie. And I ain't so particular what kind of pie it is, as long as it's got that meringue on top.
We have lemon and chocolate. We both have meringue.
Lemon and chocolate. I like them both. I don't know which I'd rather have. Both, miss.
Both?
Yep, instead of pouring milk beside me, I'm still a growing boy. Traveling always picks up my appetite. Is that all you have? Just a measly donut?
I ain't hungry.
Why not?
I just ain't.
You are, Lee.
Well, I ain't.
Just wait till I get you up to the Susie Q. I'll batten you up. In 2 weeks' time, you won't recognize yourself. But doggone, I love you, Cherry. Just the way you are. You're about the cutest little piece I ever did see. And man, when I walk into that nightclub place and hear you singing my favorite song, standing there in front of the orchestra, looking like an angel, I told myself right then and there, she's for me. I ain't gonna leave this place without her. And now I got you. Ain't I, Cherry? Ain't it?
There's people here that looking.
So what if they are? It's no crime to show a little affection, especially when we're gonna get married. It's no crime I ever heard of.
Let me be!
Cherry! There's no way to talk to your husband.
That's all you've ever done since we left Kansas City is maul me.
Well, is that so? Well, I never had to pester no woman with my affections. I never had to beg no woman to make love to me. Did I, Virgil? I never had to coax no woman to make love to me, did I?
No. No.
No! Everywhere I went, I got all the women I wanted. I had to fight them to keep them off me, didn't I? Didn't I?
Your hamburger was ready. Ham and eggs take a little longer.
Okay. Please don't give me a slide.
Elma, honey, I got the darndest headache.
I'm sorry, Grace.
Can you watch things a while?
Sure, Grace.
That's the only thing that's going to do me any good is to go upstairs and lie down a while.
What's the matter, Grace?
Oh, nothing, Will. I just got the darndest headache. It's just driving me wild.
That's so.
You are now the mistress of the inn.
You know, you never told me about your first life.
How could I have omitted her?
What was she like?
Oh, she was the loveliest of them all. I do believe she was. We had an idyllic honeymoon together. A golden month of sunshine and romance in Bermuda. She sued me for divorce later on grounds of mental cruelty. And persuaded the judge that she should have my house and my motor car. And an alimony I still find difficult to pay, for she never chose to get married again. I guess she found that for everything she wanted out of marriage, she did not have to marry. But perhaps I'm being unkind.
Miss, was you waiting for me to lay them eggs?
Oh, I'm sorry. They're ready now.
Them hamburgers was just, how you say, horse bray. Thank you, miss. Sure. Cherry, what's your suitcase doing behind the counter, bro? Now, Cherry, I'm asking you a civil question. What's your suitcase doing behind the counter, bro?
No. Now don't you come near me, Bo.
Cherry, what's your suitcase doing behind the counter, bro? What was you planning to do? Fool me? Was you sitting here planning to get away from me? Is that what you've been sitting here planning to do?
Bo, take your hands off me,
Tell me,
Bo!
Cherry. Tell me.
Leave the little lady alone, cowboy.
Mister, you got no right to interfere between me and my fiancé.
Now maybe she's your fiancée, and maybe she ain't. But you ain't gonna abuse her while I'm here. Understand?
Abuse her?
Miss, I think you better tell him now. Just how you feel about things.
Now, Bo, don't get mad.
I'll get mad if I feel like it. What are you trying to say?
You better tell him, miss.
Bo, I don't want to go up to Montana and marry you.
You do too.
No, I do not.
Anyways, you'll get over them feelings. I promise you will.
But, Bo, I ain't going.
What?
I ain't going. The sheriff here said he'd help me. I'm staying here and taking the next bus back to Kansas City.
You ain't gonna do nothing of the kind.
Yes, I am. You gotta believe me.
But, Cherry, we was familiar with each other.
That don't mean you gotta marry me.
I'd put you across my knee and blister your little bottom.
Don't you come near me.
Pay no attention to her, mister. Women folk don't own their own minds. Never did.
Bo, you stay away from me.
You're gonna follow me back to Timber Hill and marry up. You're just scared now because you've never been there before and the whole idea seems kind of strange. But you'll get over them feelings. In no time at all, you're gonna be happy as a mudhead. I ain't taking no for an answer. By God, you're coming along.
She ain't going with you. She don't want to go. Can't you get that through your skull? Now leave her be.
Mister, this ain't no business of yours.
It's my business when the little lady comes to me wanting protection.
What? Is that true, Cherry? Did you go to the sheriff asking for protection?
I guess I did.
Why? What do you need protection from? From a man who wants to marry you?
Well, 'cause.
'Cause why? I said I loved you, didn't I?
I know you did, but.
You see there? I told her I loved her and I want to marry her. And in a world full of crazy people going around killing each other, you ain't got nothing better to do than to stand here and keep me from it.
You're overlooking just one thing, cowboy.
Tell me what I'm overlooking.
You're overlooking the simple but important fact that the little lady don't love you.
Now take it easy, folks. Don't blow your lip. He's the sheriff. Hold your temper.
That polecat bastard, he said Cherry didn't love me.
Pay no attention, folks. Now why don't you come over here and sit down? We got things over.
Let me be, Verge.
Ask the little lady if you don't believe me. Ask her if she loves you.
I ain't gonna ask her nothing of the kind.
Well, then take my word for it.
I wouldn't take your word for a cloudy day. I'm telling you, she loves me, and I ought to know.
Well, she ain't getting back on that bus, Miguel. We'll leave it at that. So you better take my advice, sit down with your friend there, and play a nice game of pinochle till the bus gets on its way and takes you with it.
Like he tells you about, I think maybe you got the little lady wrong anyway.
Don't you say nothing against her, Verge.
I ain't saying nothing against her. I just see no reason why you should marry a gal that doesn't love you. That's all. And I kind of doubt she's as good as a gal as you think she is. Now why don't you come over here and sit down?
I don't feel like sitting.
What should I do with the ham and eggs?
Just put them on the stove, miss. Eat them a little later.
I don't think you'll be bothered any longer, miss. If you are, my station's right across the road. You can haul.
Thank you very much, I'm sure.
You gonna be all right, Elma?
Why, yes, Will.
I'll check in a little later.
Okay, Will.
I don't know why, but I always seem to relax whenever a sheriff leaves the room.
Well, I don't understand why people dislike Will so much just because he's a sheriff.
But you see, my dear, he stands as a symbol of authority, the most dreaded figure of our time. Policemen, teachers, judges, lawyers, and I suppose even tax collectors. We assume that they'll punish us for things we didn't do, or did do.
Didn't you say you were a teacher once?
But not a very good one. I could never stay in one place at a time, and I despised having anyone over me. Presidents, deans, department heads. I could never take orders from anyone without feeling resentment. Right or wrong, I've always insisted on having my own way.
What am I gonna do, Verge?
Boss, gotta stop depending on me so much. I don't know what to tell you. Just to sit down and be peaceful.
I can't be peaceful.
All right then, pace around like a panther and be miserable.
I just can't believe it.
What can't you believe?
Oh, nothing.
Well, if there's anything on your chest, it's best to get it off.
Well, I guess I never realized that a gal might not love me.
Where else did you teach?
At one of those revolting little progressive colleges in the East, where they teach what they call a functional education. Educators, I'm sure, have never despaired of teaching their students anything, so they decided to settle for the second best, trying to understand them. Every day we'd have a faculty meeting with everyone the students ever came into any contact with, from the president down to the chambermaids. And we'd put our collective heads together to figure out why little Jane or little Mary wasn't getting off her classes what she should. The suggestion that she simply wasn't studying was, well, too simple. And if you said that she didn't have the brains for a college education, you were being undemocratic.
Well, you must have disapproved of that college.
My dear, I've disapproved of my entire life.
Really?
But I suppose I couldn't resist living it over again.
Did you resign from that position?
One day I decided I had had enough. I walked blithely into the dean's office and said, "Sir, I graduated magna cum laude from the University of Chicago. Went to Oxford on a Rhodes Scholarship and returned to get my PhD at Harvard University, receiving it with the highest of honors. I believe I have the right to have my students try to understand me."
And what did he say?
Oh, well, I didn't wait for a response. I walked out of the office and walked to the closest railroad station and got a ticket to the farthest place I could think of, at the time being Las Vegas. And I've been traveling ever since. It's a merry way to go to pot.
Well, I thought that I might be a teacher one day, but you don't make it sound very attractive.
Suit yourself. Don't let me sway you one way or the other. You know, you are a very lovely girl, Alma.
Why, thank you, Dr. Lyman.
Didn't you say you were going to Topeka tomorrow?
You mean today? Yes. I take the early morning bus back here Monday. After. And then I come after school here to work for Grace.
And you say you stay with your sister there in Topeka?
Yep. I'm going to see the Kansas City Symphony.
Didn't you also say something about a university there?
Oh, Washburn University?
Washburn, of course. It just occurs to me that I should stop by there and check on some research that I'm engaged on.
I've been to Washburn Library lots of times.
Oh, you have? Perhaps you could show me around.
I don't know.
Well, I'll arrive in Topeka before you, and then I can meet your bus.
You really want me to?
You can show me around the library, then perhaps we get dinner together. And then you can probably permit me to take you to the orchestra.
Are you serious?
Why, of course I'm serious. Why do you ask?
Well, I don't know. Usually older people are too busy to take notice of kids. Oh, I just love to.
Then I suppose I have an engagement?
Yes. Oh, it'll be lots of fun.
But, my dear, let's keep our plans to ourselves, shall we?
Well, how come?
Well, I've been married, and I'm much older than you. Though, not as old as you might take me to be. Just, people might not understand.
Oh.
So, let's keep our plans secret.
Well, if you think best.
I think it best.
That was real pretty, Bercia.
Thank you, miss.
Is this some other way to get me back to Kansas City? No. The bus comes through here from Topeka. It can't get through either until the roads are clear. I was just getting sort of restless, is all.
Elma, fill that thermos up for me like a good girl.
Sure, Will.
I went on the highway a bit to see how the men are getting on. Thought they'd enjoy some hot coffee.
Good idea, Will.
Everyone behaving?
Why, yes, Will.
Grace not down yet?
No.
I didn't see Carl any place outside either. Suppose something could have happened to him?
I wouldn't worry about him.
Yeah, I suppose he can handle himself. Thank you, Elma. Oh, and Elma, should anyone be wanting me, I won't be gone very long.
That dang sheriff. If it wasn't for him, I'd get you right now.
Where would you take her, Bo?
There's a justice of the peace down the street. You could see the sign from the window.
Bo, you can't force a gal to marry you. You just can't do it. That sheriff's a stern man, and he'll shoot you in a minute if it was his duty. Now why don't you go over the counter and have yourself a drink, like the professor?
I never did drink. I ain't gonna let no woman drive me.
You don't drink, you don't smoke, or chew. You ought to have some bad habits to rely on when things go wrong with women.
Virgil, I hate to sound like a pitiable weakling of a man. There's just been times these last few months I've been so lonesome, I just didn't know what to do with myself.
It's no disgrace to feel that way, Bo.
Well, how about you, Virgil? You ever get lonesome too?
A long time ago, I gave up romancing and decided I was going to take lonesome for granted.
I wish I could do that. I'm a king.
Maybe I'm a sap.
Why do you say that?
Well, I don't see why I don't want to go off to Montana and marry him. Might be a lot better off than I am now.
He says he loves you.
You don't know what love is.
Why do you say that?
All he wants is a gal he can throw his arms around and hug and kiss, and that's all. The rest of the time, you don't even know I exist.
What made you decide to marry him?
You ain't very experienced, are ya?
I guess not.
I never did decide to marry him. Everything was going along fine until Bo brought up that subject. Bo came in one night and I was singing that old Black Magic. It's one of my best numbers. And he liked it so much he jumped up on the table like an Indian and whistled like a steam engine. Naturally, it made me feel good. Most of the customers at the Blue Dragon were too drunk to pay much attention to any of my songs.
And you liked him?
Well, I did think he was awfully cute.
I think he looks a little bit like Burt Lancaster, don't you?
Maybe. Anyway, I'd never seen a cowboy before. I'd seen him in the movies, of course, but never in the flesh. And he was so darn healthy looking, I don't mind admitting I was attracted right from the start.
Oh.
But it was, only what you might call a sexual attraction.
Oh.
Yeah, so the very next morning, Bo woke up and screamed, "Yippee, we're getting married!" I honestly thought he was crazy, but anytime I tried to reason with him, Bo just wouldn't have it. Followed me around all day like a shadow. Of course, at night, he had to go back to the rodeo, and I had to go back to the Blue Dragon. But sure enough, as soon as the rodeo let out, there was Bo. If any fella claimed to date me, he'd beat him up.
But you never told him you'd marry him?
No! He kept saying all week he and Virg would not be by the night the rodeo ended, and then we'd head up to Montana together. I knew if I stuck around, that's what had happened, so I decided to beat it. I went to the Blue Dragon and sang just for the first show, then I told him I was quitting. I didn't mean to find a new job anyway. But darn it, I had to go and tell them I was taking the midnight bus. And then they had to go and tell Bo, who Bo paid $5 to find out. And before I could even get my ticket, I heard Bo's voice behind me saying, "3 tickets to Montana, please," and I've been on the bus ever since. And somewhere deep down inside me, I got a funny feeling I'm gonna end up in Montana.
Let me ask you something, George. You've been looking after me since my folks died. Well, I always wondered if maybe I didn't spoil your chances of settling down.
No, you never, Bo. I used to tell myself you did, but I just wanted an excuse.
You've been looking after me since I was 10.
I could have married up too.
Was you ever in love?
Months before I went to work on your daddy's ranch.
Well, what happened?
Nothing.
You asked her to marry you?
Nope.
Why not?
Well, there always comes a time in every fellow's life where he just gotta give up his own ways.
How do you mean?
Well, I was always kind of uncomfortable around this gal because she was sweet and kind of refined. I'd say or do something wrong.
I know how you mean.
It was cowardly of me, I suppose. But every time I come back from calling her from the bunkhouse, I would just be talking, sitting around, playing cards, or listening to music. I'll just relax so much at home, I didn't want to give it up.
Yeah, gals can scare a fella.
I'm kind of ashamed.
You are?
Yeah, I am, Bo. A fellow can't live his whole life depending on buddies.
Why don't you like me, Verge?
Well,
Tell me the truth.
maybe you don't go about it right.
What do I do wrong?
Sometimes you sound a little bullheaded and mean.
I do?
Yeah, you do.
Well, how's a fella supposed to act?
I'm no authority, Bo, but it seems to me you should act a little bit more gallant.
Gallant? Why, I'm as gallant as I know how to be. You see the way Hank and Orville talk back at the ranch when they get back from sojourn in town about their woman?
They'd like to brag, Bo. You can't believe everything Hank and Orville say.
Is there any reason the gal wouldn't go for me? As soon as she would for Hank or Orville.
They're a little older, Bo. They learn a little bit more. They can be gallant with gals. On their pawn to be.
Well, I ain't gonna pretend.
I can't blame you.
But a gal ought to like me. I mean, I can read and write. I'm kind of tidy. And I got good manners, don't I?
I'm no judge, Bo. I'm used to you.
And I'm tall and strong. Ain't that what girls like? And if I do say so myself, I'm pretty good looking.
Yeah.
When I get spruced up, I'm just as good looking a fella as a gal might hope to see.
I know you are, Bo.
Well, then hellfire damnation. Why don't you go back to the...
Gee, only you loved him.
That'd solve everything, wouldn't it? But I don't. So I just can't see myself going up to some godforsaken ranch in Montana where I'd see no one but him and a whole lot of cows.
No. It'd be awfully lonely if you didn't love him.
I'm beginning to seriously wonder if the love I have in mind even does exist.
Well, why do you say that?
Well, I don't know. I'm only 19, but I've been going with guys since I was 14.
Really?
Yeah, we don't waste much time down in the Ozarks. When I was 14, I almost married a cousin of mine once, but Pappy wouldn't have it.
Never heard of anyone marrying so young.
Yeah, we don't waste much time. But I'm awful glad I never married my cousin Malcolm, because he turned out to be real mean, just like Pappy predicted. But I've been losing my head about some guy ever since. But Bo's the first one that's ever wanted to marry me. And naturally, I'd like to get married and have kids and raise a family, but...
But you've never been in love?
Well, that's what I mean. Maybe I haven't. I just didn't know it. I just feel that you gotta feel like a guy, it's hard to put your words into it. You gotta feel he respects you. Yeah, that's it, respects you. I want a guy I can look up to, but not one that'll browbeat me. And I want a guy that'll talk sweet to me, but not treat me like a baby. I just feel that a guy has to have some real regard for you, apart from all the loving and the sex, you know?
I think so. What are you going to do when you go back to Kansas City?
Oh, I don't know. There's a hillbilly station on one of the radios up there. Might get a job on it. If not, I'll probably get a job at Legette's or Walgreens, and then I'll probably marry some guy whether I think I love him or not. Who am I to keep on insisting I should fall in love? Maybe such a thing don't exist. Maybe everyone's just afraid to tell you.
Maybe you're right. But I hope not.
Well, I hate to put it off any longer, but I have to go out into that cold powder room.
How defiantly we pursue love, like it was an inheritance due, and we had to wrangle about with our angry relatives in order to get our fair share.
Well, you shouldn't complain. You've had 3 wives.
Don't shame me. I love them all, with passion. At least, I thought I did, for a time.
I'm sorry if it sounded sarcastic, Dr. Lyman. I didn't mean to be.
Don't apologize to me, my dear. I'm too egotistical to take offense from anything anyone says to me.
Well, I don't think you're egotistical at all.
But, my dear, the greatest egos are those who are just too egotistical to show just how egotistical their egos are.
I'm sort of idealistic about things. I'd like to think that people fall in love and stay that way forever and ever.
Maybe man has passed that point. Maybe we have passed that point in evolution where we have the ability to love. Maybe life will continue being so complex where man will fear for his survival and thus cannot give up anything of himself to be with another.
You're talking over my head. I always thought that anyone could fall in love.
But two people truly in love must give up something of themselves.
Gee, how do we get onto this subject?
Pay me no mind, my dear. Whether there is such a thing as love, we can always at least pretend there is. Now, let us speak of our upcoming trip to Topeka, shall we? Will you be wearing your loveliest dress?
Oh, yes. If it's a nice day out, I'll wear a new dress that Mother got me. It's a soft rose color, a little lace around the collar.
You look lovely. Lovely. And I hope you do not mind if I say these endearments. I hope I do not embarrass you.
No, it doesn't embarrass me.
That's good. And just think of me as a fatherly old fool, will you? And do not shy away if I take such rapturous delight in your youth and innocence and sweetness. For these are qualities I seek to warm my heart as I seek a fire to warm my hands.
Now I am kind of embarrassed. I don't know what to say.
Then say nothing, or nudge me and I'll speak endlessly on the most trivial matters.
Virgil, sure is cold outside. Virgil, we should play us another song. We could all use some cheering up.
I'll make a deal with y'all. I'll play if y'all sing.
Let's have a floor show.
A brilliant idea, straight from Chaucer.
Everyone here can do something. Virgil, will you play the guitar?
I don't play opera or jitterbug.
Will you take part? Oh, please. It won't be fun unless we all do something.
Go on, Bo.
I never was no play actor, miss.
You could say the Gettysburg address.
I ain't gonna say it now.
Then why don't you do them rope tricks? Them ropes are outside if I could get it if it's easy enough.
Oh, come on. Rope tricks can be lots of fun.
No! I ain't gonna get up before a lot of strangers and make a fool of myself.
I guess he means it, miss.
Oh, shucks.
Why could you cooperate a little, Bo?
I got too much on my mind to worry about these stunts.
Will you sing for us, Sherry? I will for a piece of pie and another cup of coffee. Okay. Will you read poetry for us? Can you
Why,
play
my
for me,
dear?
Virgil?
If you can sort me out this chords, I think I can play.
Why, my dear, I intend to play Romeo opposite your Juliet.
Gee, I don't know if I can remember the lines.
One can find Shakespeare among the most lurid novels of juvenile delinquents on these shelves. The Four Tragedies of Shakespeare, with my compliments.
That's my seat.
Gee, if I read over the lines a few times, I'll remember. Do you know the balcony scene? You can have it.
Yes, my dear, I know it by heart. And I can even recite it backwards.
She shines up to you like a kid in the milk.
I got a costume with me. Where can I change? Behind the counter.
Couldn't help myself if I'm so darn attracted to woman.
Gee, costumes and everything.
Shucks, Bo, it don't mean nothing.
Maybe it don't mean nothing to you.
Bo, she was being nice to me because I was playing my guitar. And guitar's music's kind of tender, and girls seem to like it.
They do?
Yeah, Bo, girls like things to be tender.
Well, the fella gets tender, and someone comes along and makes a sap out of it.
Sometimes, Bo, but not always. You just gotta take a chance.
Well, I always considered myself a decent sort of fella, but I don't know if I'm tender.
I think you are. You know how you feel about that deer hunting. You couldn't do it. You couldn't even shoot one of them little deer with them sweet little little eyes with them sad eyes, then you can jump into boiling oil.
Are you making fun of me?
No, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying you gotta tend aside to your nature as to everyone else.
I suppose I do.
Of course you do, Bo.
But then how come Cherry don't come over and talk sweet to me, like she does for you?
Bo, you gotta tend aside, but you just don't know how to show it.
I don't?
No, you don't know how.
Tell me something, Verge. How's one going about showing his tender side?
Well, I do know as I can tell you.
Will you play for us first?
It's all right by me.
Okay, then I'll act master of ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, Grace's Diner tonight presents its gala floor show of celebrated artists from all around the world. First up, we have that musical cowboy, Mr. Virgil
Blessing.
Mr. Virgil Blessing with his guitar.
I think you got me all wrong, Cherry.
Don't you come back now, dressing.
Cherry, I think you misjudged me.
Shh, the show's starting.
Cherry, I'm really a very tender person. You just don't know. Wow, I'm so tender-hearted, I don't go deer hunting because I just couldn't shoot them cute little deer with the sad eyes. Ask Verge.
I'm interested.
You ain't?
No, and furthermore, I think you're a louse for coming over here and trying to talk to me like friends trying to play the guitar.
You talk like you thought more of Verge than you do of me.
Will you just go away?
Cherry, did I tell you about my color television set with the 20-inch screen?
1,000,000 times now. Go away! That was wonderful, girl! No!
No more right now. I want to see the rest of y'all do something.
So much she cares for how tender I am.
That was swell, Virgil. Are you ready?
I consider myself so.
Will you be our prompter?
It's kind of funny writing, but I'll try.
Gee, what do we use for a balcony?
That does solve your problem.
What is it these folks are going to do, Verge?
Romeo and Juliet by Shakespeare.
Shakespeare?
Yeah, Bo, this Romeo was a great lover. If you watch him and you get a few pointers.
I'm ready.
What soft, what light do yonder windows breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair.
Bo!
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness a playing of the balcony scene from Romeo and Juliet. Dr. Gerald Lyman will be playing Romeo, and I'll be playing Juliet. My name is Elma Duckworth. The setting is the Capulet's Orchard in Verona, Italy. This counter is supposed to be the balcony. Okay?
He just says scars that have never felt a wound. Oh, soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise,
Oh, Romeo,
fair
Romeo.
sun,
Wherefore art thou,
and kill
Romeo?
the envious.
Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Ah, she speaks, yet says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I must answer it, for I am too bold.
Bold, he's drunk.
'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the most glorious stars in heaven, having some business in her eyes, do twinkle in their spheres till they return.
Ay me.
Speak again, bright angel. Thou art the most glorious thing and the night over my head like a winged messenger.
I don't understand all them words, Verge.
Unto
Romeo and
the
Juliet,
white
for God's sake, will you
upturned
shut up?
eyes of mortal men whose gaze fall back onto him, and who bestrides on lazy pacing clouds and crosses on a bosom of air.
Well, 'tis thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's a Montague? It's not hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, feast some other name.
I take thee at thy word. Call me by love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo.
Who art thou, thus bescreened in the night, so stumblest on my counsel?
Thy name I know not how to tell thee. My name, dear saints, is hateful to myself.
Because it's an enemy to they.
Because it's an enemy to thee. My name is hateful to myself.
Well, Dr. Lyman? Dr. Lyman, are you all right?
My dear, let us not continue this meaningless little act, shall we?
Did I do something wrong?
No, no. You could not have done anything wrong, even if you tried.
Well, I can try to say the lines a little differently.
No, no, my dear. Just tell your audience that your Romeo is filled with remorse and cannot continue.
Verge, if that's the way to make love, I'm gonna give up.
Well, I'm afraid he isn't feeling well.
I try to prompt him.
Well, we only got one more number. Are you ready? Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, next up is International Chanteuse, Mademoiselle Sherry. Everyone give it up for Sherry.
Yeah!
Now remember, I don't allow no table service during my numbers. Sure. I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck, a hug around the neck, and a barrel and a heap, a barrel and a heap. Now I'm talking in my sleep about you, about you.
Ain't she beautiful, Verge?
'Cause I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck, a
I'm
hug
gonna get it,
around the
Verge.
neck, and a
Spall.
barrel and a heap, a barrel and a heap. Now I'm talking in my
I made
sleep
up my
about
mind.
you.
I told myself it was gonna get me a gal. That's
About
the only
you.
reason why I entered that rodeo. And I ain't taking
'Cause
no
I
for an
love
answer.
you.
Will you hush up and let me pay?
A bushel and a peck,
Everything I ever
and a
wanted in
hug
this
around the
life,
neck,
I went out and
a
got,
hug around the
and I ain't
neck,
gonna
and a
stop
barrel
now.
and a heap,
I'm gonna
a
get it.
barrel and a heap. Now I'm talking in my sleep about you, about you.
Yeah, Cherry, that's great.
You ain't got the man as God gave a monkey.
Cherry.
And if I was a man, I'd beat the living daylights out of you. And one of these days, that's what some man's gonna do. And I hope I am there to say it.
Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo?
Dr. Lyman! Dr. Lyman!
A man's in a pretty bad way. Let's get him on the bench.
I was telling Verge how much I love you. You got no right to come over and slap me.
Well, let me think.
We're going down to pick up the justice of the peace. And you're gonna marry me tonight.
Ah! Help me! Help me! Somebody
Shut
help me!
up! I'll make you a good husband. But we'll never have nothing to be sorry about.
Help me! Sheriff! Somebody help me!
Put down, cowboy!
Get out of my way!
You're gonna do as I say!
You can have no way to freedom my ways.
Oh, you can't do this. You can't pick a fight with the sheriff.
By God, mister, ain't no man ever got the best of me, and ain't no man ever gonna.
I'm ready and willing to try, cowboy. Come on!
Oh, gee! I better go get Grace!
Hey, what the hell is going on?
Well, they just started fighting. Honest, it all happened so suddenly.
Oh, well, let's see. Oh, it looks like Will's getting the best of him. Oh, I don't want to cause so much trouble. Oh, I'll put my money on Will Masters any day. He's got it up here. Oh, look at that cowboy. He's swinging out wild. He's green. Oh.
Well, I don't want to watch anymore.
My God, I love a good fight. Come on, Will. Come on. Give me your uppercut. Oh, what I tell you, I'm glad they got it settled outside. Remember last time I had a fight in here? I had to put it in their window.
It takes strong men and women to love. People strong enough inside themselves to love. People big enough to grow with their love and live inside a whole wide new dimension. People brave enough to bear the responsibility of being loved and not fear it as a burden. I never had the generosity to love, for I could never sacrifice anything of myself. Oh, Romeo, I am disgusting.
Well, Dr. Lyman, are you all right?
Oh, my dear, do not bother with a poor old fool like me.
I don't think you're a foolish old man. I like you more than anyone I've ever known.
But that is because you are young, my dear, and soon you will grow into a woman, a kind, intelligent, caring woman. One who could do nothing but pity me, for I am a child, a drunken, unruly child, who has nothing in his heart for a true woman.
Well, let me get you something to make you feel better.
No. I must seek the icy comfort of the restroom.
What's the matter, Elma, honey? What was that man saying to you?
Miss, would you help us? The sheriff says if you don't hold charges against both, he'll let him go on a bus if he ever goes.
So what, you can come back here and start mauling me again?
He won't do that again, miss, I promise.
You promise. What about him?
I think you can trust him now.
That's what I thought before. Nothing doing. Comes in here and grabs a hold of a woman and kisses her like he was Napoleon.
Miss, if he was ever for me to tell you this, he would never forgive me. But y'all the first gal he ever made love to at all.
Ha! I don't believe that.
It's true, miss. He's as shy as a rabbit.
Oh my God.
Well, it's just a good thing you didn't meet him in Topeka.
Oh, I won't, Grace. But I don't think he meant any harm. I mean, he just drinks a little too much. Dr. Lyman, are you okay?
I am an old man, my dear. I feel very weary.
Just let him sleep it off. It's about all you can do.
Grace, for Christ's sake, who puked all over the back house?
Oh, God!
Oh. Come on, Virgil, let's go.
I'm awful glad you're not helping, miss.
But if you're telling me some fib just to get him out of prison, I swear I'll never forgive you.
It's no fib, miss. You're the first gal he ever made love to at all.
Huh. Well, I sure ain't never had that on him before.
Still dead.
I'm glad we all get out of here and get to bed. I'm tired.
Had enough of me, baby? I'm kind of glad the highway was blocked tonight.
You are?
Gave us a chance to become kind of acquainted, didn't it?
Kind of.
Just pulling in here 3 times a week and then pulling out again in 20 minutes. I always left just wondering what it was like, Grace.
I always wondered about you too, Carl.
You did?
Yeah, but you can go gabbing to the other drivers about it.
What makes you think I...
Shoot, I know how you men talk when you get together. You're worse than women.
Not me, Grace.
I don't want any of the other bus drivers on this route, some of them especially, get any ideas I'm going to serve anything other than what they order over the counter.
Sure, I get you. But kind of liked me, didn't you, Grace?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
You know what I first liked about you, Kyle? Your hands. I like a man with big hands.
You got everything, baby.
One of the highway trucks just stopped by. They say it won't be very long now.
I hope so.
Everything peaceful?
Yes, Will.
Cowboy, if you're holding any grudges against me, I think you ought to ask yourself what you'd have done in my place. I couldn't have you carrying off the little lady when she didn't want to go, could I? Could I?
I don't feel like talking, mister.
Well, I couldn't. And I think you might also remember that this little lady, if she wanted to, could press charges and get you sent to the state penitentiary for violation of the Mann Act.
The what act?
The Mann Act. You took a woman over the state line against her will.
That would be a serious charge, Bo.
I love her.
It don't make no difference.
A man's got a right to the things he loves.
Not unless he deserves it, cowboy.
I'm a hard-working man. I wouldn't be my own ranch. I got $6,000 in the bank.
A man don't deserve the things he loves unless he can be a little humble about getting them.
Why ain't gonna get down on my knees and beg?
Oh, now being humble ain't the same thing as being wretched. I had to learn that once too, cowboy. I wasn't quite as old as you. I stole horses instead of women because, well, you could sell horses. One day, I stole a horse off the wrong man, the Rev. Hezekiah Pearson. Now, I never thought I'd get mine from any preacher, but he was very fair. Gave me every chance to put myself clear. But I wouldn't admit the horse was his. Finally, he did what he had to do. He threshed me to within an inch of my life. I never forgot, because it was the first time in my life when I had to admit I was wrong. I was miserable. Finally, after a few days, I thought the only thing I could do was to admit to the man just how I felt. And I felt different about the whole thing. I joined his church. We was bosom pals till he died a few years ago. Has he done what I asked him to yet?
Oh, yeah, Sheriff.
Why should you be so scared?
Who says I'm scared?
Give me your word, didn't you?
I'm gonna do it. And I'll just give you some time.
Well, I warn you. It ain't gonna do you no good unless you really mean it.
And I'll do it.
All right then. Go ahead.
Miss, I want to apologize
What for?
for causing such a commotion earlier.
Oh, you don't need to apologize to me, cowboy. I like a good fight. You're welcome here at Grace's Diner anytime. And I mean anytime.
Thanks. I must have acted like a hoodlum. I apologize.
Oh, that's all right.
Thank you, Miss.
Well, I'm awful sorry we never got to see your rope tricks.
They ain't much. Do I have to wake up the professor and apologize to him?
You can overlook the professor.
I can't do it.
Oh,
I just can't do it.
why not?
She'd have no respect for me now. She saw me beat.
You gave me your word. You owe that girl an apology whether you got beat or not. And you're gonna give it to her or I'm not letting you back on the bus.
Go on, Bo. Go on.
Well, I'll try. Cherry?
Yeah?
Cherry, it was wrong of me for treating you the way I did. Dragging you onto the bus, trying to make you marry me whether you wanted to or not. You think you could ever forgive me?
Well, I guess I've been treated worse in my life.
Cherry, I got you here. I think I ought to get you back in good style, so take this.
Did the sheriff make you do this?
No, I got no. He didn't say nothing about my giving you money.
No, that's his idea, miss. And I think it's a good one.
You don't have to give me this much.
I want you to have it.
Thanks. I sure can use it.
And I wish you the best of luck, Cherry. Honest, I do.
You too, Bo.
Well, I guess I said everything that's to be said, so long.
So long.
Well, that wasn't so bad, was it, son?
I'd rather have to break in wild horses than do it again.
How's your headache, Grace?
Huh?
A while back, you told me you had a headache.
Oh, I feel fine now, Will. Just fine.
You have a nice walk, Carl.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I think you better go check upstairs, because someone took your rover shoes and left them outside the door to Grace's apartment. I'll have me a coffee, Grace, and one of them sweet rolls.
Nosy old snoop.
Come on over here, Bo, now and have about a breakfast.
I ain't hungry.
Maybe a cup of coffee?
I couldn't get it down.
Now, what's the matter, Bo? Y'all feel pretty good since the sheriff...
I might as well have stayed in jail.
Now, what kind of talk is that? Us be leaving pretty soon, and we'll be back on the ranch in a couple days.
I don't care if I never see that dang ranch again.
Why, Bo? You worked half your lifetime earning that money, you throwed it up.
It's the loneliest damn place I ever did see.
Well, I never thought so.
It'll be like going back to a graveyard.
Bo, I heard Hank in Earlville talking about the new school mom over by Stebbins. They said she's a looker.
I ain't interested in no school mom.
Oh, Bo.
Bird. I want cherry, Bird. Just go get yourself something to eat.
My God, the lines are up. Hello? Grace's Diner? It is? All right, I'll tell him. The road is clear, but you have to put your chains on because it's awful slick.
God damn! Road's clear, folks. Bus will be ready to leave as soon as I get the chains on. That'll take about 20 minutes. Unless someone wants to help me.
I'll help you, Carl.
Bob?
Yeah?
I just had something I needed to tell you. It's kind of embarrassing and kind of personal, too, but I guess some people say I led a real wicked life. And I guess I have.
Well, what do you mean, Cherry?
Well, I always figured you took it for granted that I had other boyfriends before I met you.
You have?
Yes, I had, Bo. Quite a few.
Bridget warned me of that, but I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, well, it's true. So you see, I ain't the kind of guy you want to marry at all. Dr. Lyman. Dr. Lyman.
Where am I? Oh, it's you, my dear. What a pleasant awakening.
How do you feel?
That is not a nice question to ask. How long have I been asleep?
A couple of hours.
Ah, sometimes nature blesses me with a total blackout. Last thing I remember was our performance, at least the beginning of it. How were we?
Marvelous.
Ah, that's good. You know, perhaps I'll have a cup of that coffee you were trying to force on me last night.
All right.
Sugar.
Can I get you something to eat?
No, I think not.
Oh, please, Dr. Lyman, you must eat something.
Must I?
Oh, yes, please.
Well, for your sweet sake, I'll have a couple of 3-minute eggs with a side of toast and orange juice, please.
I'll go help the driver with his chains. And Bo, stay here. Take care of that hand.
Cherry?
Yeah?
Cherry, would I be molested if I was to say something?
Why, no.
Well, since you had brought up the subject, you are the first gal I ever had anything to do with. Oh, God, I never thought I'd hear myself say that, but I said it.
I never would have guessed it, Bo.
You see, I had spent my whole life on a ranch, and I guess I didn't know much about women because, well, they're different than men.
Naturally.
Every time I got around one, I began to feel kind of scared. I didn't know how to act. It was aggravating.
You wasn't so scared with me.
When I walked into that nightclub place, and hear you singing, you looked at me and smiled a few times and winked. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, I guess I sound kind of green, but no gal had ever done that to me before, so excuse me, Trey. I thought you were singing your songs just for me.
Well, you did kind of attract me.
Anyways, you seem so kind of warm-hearted and sweet. I thought I could love you, and I did.
Did you really think you loved me?
Why, Cherry, I couldn't be familiar with the gal I didn't love.
Bus headed west. All aboard. Next stop, Topeka.
How you feeling now, cowboy?
Like the happiest critter ever born.
Just because you ain't happy today, don't mean you ain't gonna be happy tomorrow. Feel like shaking hands now, cowboy?
Well,
Come on, Bo. He's only trying to be friends.
well, I don't know.
I just want you to remember there's no hard feelings. So long.
So long.
I'm headed home now, Grace. I'll see you Monday.
So long, Will.
Montana's not such a bad place, miss.
Nice fella, Bo.
Yes. Maybe I'll think so someday.
Well, maybe we better be boarding on a bus now.
Cherry?
Yeah?
Cherry, I know I promised not to molest you, but if you was to give your permission and it'd be all right, I'd like to kiss you goodbye.
You would? I'd like you to kiss me, but I really would. But, wait, I think this time when you kiss me, it ought to be a little different, you know?
Oh. God, when you kiss someone for serious, it's kind of scary, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
It don't look like he was molesting her now.
This was the best breakfast I've ever had. So, that's not much of a compliment. I haven't had that many breakfasts to begin with.
It's my favorite meal.
My dear, let us not continue this little spree, shall we?
Whatever you say.
Sometimes doing the right thing feels so good. I wonder why I don't do it more often.
Well, what do you mean?
Nothing, my dear. Suppose I better be getting on that bus then.
Well, I feel it's been an honor knowing you, Dr. Lyman.
Oh, really?
Really, you're the smartest man I've ever known.
The smartest?
Really, you are.
Oh, yes. I'm terribly smart. Wouldn't it have been nice to be intelligent?
Hey. You know what I heard about the professor? The detective at the bus terminal in Kansas City is a buddy of mine. He pointed out the professor to me before he got on the bus. Know what he said? He said the police in Kansas City picked the professor up for loitering around his schools.
Honest?
Then they checked his record and found that he had been in trouble several times for getting involved with young girls.
My God, did you tell Will?
Sure, I told him. But they ain't got anything on the professor now, so there's nothing Will could do. What gets me is, why does he call himself a doctor? Is he some kind of phony?
I know, Carl. He's a doctor of philosophy.
What's that?
Well, it's the highest degree there is. Scholarship.
You'd think he'd have philosophy enough to keep himself out of trouble.
Sorry to see me go, baby.
No, I told you I'm tired.
You know, sometimes I get to thinking, what the hell good is marriage where you have to put up with the same old broad every day and look at her in the morning and try to get along with her when she's got a bad disposition? This way suits me fine.
I got no complaints either. Incidentally, Carl, are you married?
Now, who said I was married, Grace? Who said it? You just tell me and I'll fix them.
Relax, relax. See you day after tomorrow.
You might get surprised what can happen in 20 minutes. All aboard!
Never did say whether he was married or not.
Cherry.
Yeah?
Cherry. I was talking with my buddy over there, and well, he thinks I'm virgin enough for the two of us.
Honest, did Virgil really say that?
Yeah. And I like you are, Cherry, so I don't care how you got that way.
That's the sweetest, most tenderest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Cherry, it takes a lot for a fella to get up and try again, once he's been knocked down before. It takes a lot of guts.
You don't need guts, Bo.
You don't?
No, that's the last thing in the world you need.
Well, I guess I just don't have any anymore, so I'm gonna have to say what I feel in my heart.
Yeah?
I still wish he was going back to the ranch with me, more than anything I know.
You do? Well, I'd go anywhere in the world with you now, Bo, really.
You would?
I would.
You would?
Yes.
I knew that was going to happen all along.
Gee, I did it.
You hear that, Virg? She's going back to the ranch with me. We're gonna get married.
Ain't it wonderful when something so awful turns out to be so great? We're going to Montana and I'm getting married!
Hey, all aboard for Christ's sake!
All right, come on, Virgil Raccoon.
Now look, Bo, listen to me for a second.
Virg, we wasted enough time. Let's get going, come on.
Bo, be quiet just a minute. You gotta hear me. You don't need me no more. I ain't going.
You ain't what?
I ain't going with you, Bo.
Well, would you look at that?
Best that I don't, Bo.
Just one blame catastrophe after another.
I got another job. Mighty nice. Pizza, mighty nice. I'll be watching over the cattle. I meant to tell you that before this.
Virgil, can't believe you leave your old sidekick. You're joking, man.
I ain't joking, Bo.
Well,
Virgil, we should come. I liked you. Forever liked Bo.
you know Cherry likes you, Virgil. It just don't make sense you're not coming.
Well, I know I'm doing the right thing. Now hurry up and get on the bus.
Who's gonna look after the cows?
Hank was ever good as I ever was.
Oh, Virgil, I don't know why you gotta go pull a stunt like this.
You'll come visit us, right, Virgil?
Of course, I'll be up there in the summer.
Virgil, you're my buddy, and I ain't gonna leave you. You're coming because we want you to come with us. Come on.
No, let me be, Bo.
No, Bo. Not like this, no. If you don't want to come, you don't have to.
But Cherry, it don't make any sense he's not coming. It's plumb crazy.
Well, sometimes people have their own reasons.
Oh. Huh. Well, I guess I just hate to think of getting along with that old Virg.
Huh. No, in a couple weeks you'll never miss me.
Oh, Virg.
I'll get along with you now.
Where are you gonna be, Virg?
I'll write you the address. Don't have time now. Mighty nice, mighty nice. Just go on the bus and just hurry up.
Well, so long, old friend.
Bye, Bo. Bye.
So long.
Goodbye, Virgil.
Come on, Cherry. Let's make it fast.
Bye, everyone. Goodbye.
Mister, we gotta close up now if Ellen and me ain't gonna get any rest. We won't be open again until the day girl comes in at 8 o'clock, and the next bus through is to Albuquerque at 8:45.
Albuquerque? I guess that's a good place as any.
Poor Dr. Lyman.
Elma, honey, did you hear what Carl was telling me about that man?
No. What is it?
According to Carl, the police ran him out of Kansas City.
I don't believe it.
Honey, Carl heard from the police at the bus station himself.
What's Dr. Lyman do?
Well, lots of old fogies like him can't seem to leave young girls alone. So it's a very good thing he didn't hear me speak, or anywhere else for that matter.
Do you think? You wanted to make love? To me?
Well, I didn't think he meant to play hopscotch.
Gee.
Now don't go getting stuck on yourself.
I won't. It's nice to know that at least someone can feel that way.
Oh, you won't have to wait long. Just wait until you get into college and meet all those college boys.
All right, I'll wait.
Elma, honey, I could kill Will Masters for saying anything about quarantine. I didn't want you to know.
Well, I don't know why I shouldn't know, Grace. I don't want to be a baby forever.
Of course you don't. But you're a kid, and I don't want to set no bad examples of nothing. Could you ever look past it and not think bad of me?
Sure, Grace.
Thank you, honey. Because I'm just a restless sort of woman. Every once in a while, I gotta have me a man just to keep from getting grouchy.
None of my business, Grace. Just think, you wanted to make love to me.
Now, didn't I just say don't get big on yourself?
I won't.
You can go now, honey. All I gotta do is take out the garbage.
Okay. Good night, Grace. See you Monday.
Good night, honey. See you Monday.
Well, goodbye, Virgil. It was just nice knowing you, and I loved your music.
Thank you, miss. Good night.
Good night.
Mister, I really gotta close up now.
Any place warm I can stay till 8 o'clock?
Now the police station's closed? I don't know unless you want to try waking up the man that runs the hotel down the street.
No, I wouldn't want to be any trouble.
There's a bus to Kansas City in a few minutes. I can put the sign out and then stop.
No point in going back there.
Well, I guess you just stuck out in the cold then.
Well, I guess that happens to some people.
Extend a thank you to Donnie Gibson and Sharon Newcomb Clipsign. Yay! Thank you, everyone, and my wonderful cast. And also thank you to my crew. And my very stage-bright stage manager, Miranda Luke, who will not show her face, but thank you anyway.